St. Augustine City Commissioners wonders if the city can require staff to take breaks from the heat despite the new Florida law. I think this is an important one to talk about. St. Augustine City Commissioner is addressing the issue of employees providing staff breaks from the excessive heat. This discussion arises after Florida's new law restricts local governments from mandating breaks during work hours. Now the federal government is also entering the conversation. City Commissioner Barbara Blonder is advocating for local action. Quote, I want the city to be able to implement some policies that protect our workers, end quote, Blender told First Coast News. Blonder has consulted with city attorney to explore the cities that can mandate water and rest breaks for the heat during the heat for city employees. This includes archaeologists who often spend hours, oh, we love them over there, outdoors, and oh yeah, on the digging sites. I can see this here. Oh, Andrea White, yeah, she's in this article. Working under a tent, going into a 3-foot deep hole. They noted that this particular site that they're working on has reached a temperature of 99 degrees with a heat index of over 117, even in the shade. That's crazy. So what do you think about this? You think it's a good idea?
I can tell you this. I think everybody who works out in the parks and are the maintenance guys out in the fields in the middle of the summer setting up the ball fields are laughing at that 99.
Really?
Tell me. They've been doing it for years.
Right.
You're out there, you're doing the lawn workers and that's the reason why roofers go to work so early. Like when you're complaining about, oh, he's working at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, he's working at 7 o'clock in the morning because at 3 o'clock he'd die.
Right.
You know, so you have a little sympathy. The guy's got to make a living. Sorry.
True. I mean, that's true.
Sorry it inconvenienced you at that moment. This guy's trying to put food on his family's plate.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good. I think they need to encourage. I don't know if they can enforce it. I think they need to encourage them to take the necessary breaks to be cool.
I think that's what the law means, right?
Like that's the intent of it.
Your idea.
That's the intent of it. One of the things that was really bad when I was Parks and Recreation Director is we use work crews from the jail, from the Hardwick Hotel.
Okay.
It was.
I'm not mad about that.
Back in Sheriff Perry days and Sheriff Shores days, but they would get called in if it got over 90 degrees.
Okay.
And my guys would have to keep working.
Oh, of course.
You know, because I mean, we still had to get the ball field set up. We still had to do everything that was required. I mean, the grass doesn't stop growing.
Yeah.
So,
well, what resources do you guys have out there?
We make sure they have coolers set aside, water. You know, there's an ice machine. I mean, we have a strategy of what you need to do to take care of yourself. And some of them still. I mean, heat gets on you. I mean, when that bear gets, I don't know if you've ever come close to heat exhaustion before, but it's nuts. It's a horrible, horrible feeling.
When you want to keep going forward, but your body shuts down, that's a whole nother level of existence.
Yeah, when things start closing in and you're like, okay, I gotta, you gotta pull it together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain if you've never had experienced anything with heat exhaustion, and it's nothing. I mean, your organs can actually shut down. So
what would this rule actually do? So they would take like they would be not mandated, but suggested they take a 15-minute break after a certain period of time or something?
I mean, I would assume they get like in an air conditioner, but I mean, a lot of my guys, I mean, we would try and get them to do that, but they didn't like the cooling down and heating back up again. They didn't like, they'd rather just stay
in even keel.
Stay in the even keel. And this is where
that's interesting.
This is where it gets dangerous. I mean, we really had to encourage, make sure they were drinking as much water as they possibly could keep in them.
I've known some athletes that have died actually going through like a marathon situation and a heat exhaustion. Actually, a swimmer, like an Olympian, drowned in I believe it was Dubai, maybe about 15 years ago. Fran Crippen, and it was incredible to see this monster of an athlete, this incredible human being, this thoroughbred, and literally get taken out because of the heat exhaustion. It's just that blows my mind. I really do. I don't know what's the better route, whether they take the break like you said, or they, like you said, keep it even keel. But interesting though, and I'm always interested in like what resources you guys have like on the field and out there.
Yeah, so. and I think like the archaeologists, and that's a very unique field because they're like. My guys that were working in the field for me were about 90% out in the heat.
Yeah.
They would get 10%, like they'd work, in a indoor situation. But these archaeologists, they're probably, days they're not digging, they're inside.
Right.
So their body isn't as acclimated as some of these other people that are used to working in the heat constantly. Yeah. Like a roofer knows
I couldn't imagine
when they're going in what it's going to be like. They're looking at the weather report going, yeah, today's going to suck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a little neck fan isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, no, that's not going to do anything but get in your way.
Golly.
So, but I mean, I understand the intent of it. It's just whether or not you can get the employees, because most of these guys have a task to do and they're just so focused on the task, they don't want to stop.
Right.
So,
once you're focused on that.
It's a hard balance.
Yeah.
So, we always had supervisors going around, and when the supervisor got there, it would almost create a break for the people. So that might be what it takes to do, is somebody going there and saying, okay, hey, us have a little meeting here,
right,
and give them a cool down moment that they don't even realize it's happening.
Yeah. Well, we got the archaeologists coming in on Thursday, so we can talk to them too about it and how this would benefit for them.
Yeah, but I can just see being in the middle of that.
Yeah, me too.
You're almost like
you're in heavy khaki.
You're thinking you're finding something. You're like, okay, I'm not stopping right now.
Right. Oh my gosh. Right.
I know my personality wouldn't let me stop.
So. Right. True. Especially when you find something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, more to come on that one. I guess we'll do some follow up and see what goes on. But I think it's a good idea, for everybody to figure out what's the best for their terms, however that looks like.
Yeah. When you start getting chills in 90 degrees, your body's in trouble. So
yeah, that's not menopause. I know.
Cool
I get you. Yeah.
Down as quick as you possibly can.
It's when you stop sweating is the problem.
Yeah.
Don't stop sweating.
When
if you
get,
stop sweating, it's time to go inside.
Literally, my middle name should be Sweat.
Yeah. Feel those tingles in your fingers, and you're like, all of a sudden, you're like getting the chills, and you're like, oh, what? I'm not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, it's, I don't know if you guys have ever blacked out before.
You started explaining it. It gets tunnel vision.
Everything
sight.
starts literally closing. It's like there's darkness here, and all of a sudden you're doing this.
Oh, and God, don't jinx me.
And unless you can kind of, it's almost like a G-force. Unless you can kind of hold everything in to take in a breath, you're going to go down. You're going to go out. So.
And I'm a giraffe. It would be awful if that happened. Good gracious. I know.
Yeah, just don't take out anybody with you.